again. It's a rich
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be discussing the man that ended up being our backup center for the Chicago Bulls and someone that does have a player option. His name is Andre Drummond, and we're going to kind of discuss whether or not he will, accept his player option. Now, at the end of the day, we are unsure at this time, of course. Essentially, the whole point is that it's up to Andre Drummond whether or not he wants to accept his player option or not. But looking at some of the things throughout the season that we have noticed, I'll kind of give my opinion on whether or not he will accept it. Obviously, do not take my word as gospel. I do not know Andre Drummond. I didn't ask anything to Andre Drummond or anything like that. But it's just my opinion on the situation about whether or not he will or should he accept his player option with this Bulls team. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you believe that Andre Drummond should be accepting his player option and rejoining the Chicago Bulls next season. Now, Andre Drummond came in as our backup center option. I think a lot of people at the time were very questionable on the situation. They liked the fact that we got a very, very good rebounder because that was a big area that we needed to improve upon. We also got someone that can finish around the paint. He was obviously a big upgrade over Tristan Thompson, and in my opinion still is a big upgrade over Tristan Thompson. But there was one situation that we really needed resolving, and that was a rim protector. And that was where the questions lied with Andre Drummond. Can he be that rim protector for the Chicago Bulls? I remember his interview, welcoming interview to Chicago, and he looked very happy, he was excited, and he was always talking about bringing some physicality and toughness into the team. I would personally say he accomplished in that mission, but he just wasn't that rim protector that we needed with the Chicago Bulls team. I think he brought physicality, absolutely he did. I think he made our team a lot more physical than what it was last season. Last season we were more of a mobile, agile, quick movement, try to get steals and deflections. I think this season we added that element of physicality and toughness to our team with Andre Drummond there. Mission accomplished from Andre Drummond in that avenue, brought physicality, but just did not bring that rim protection that we needed with the Chicago Bulls team. Both Nikola Vucevic and Andre Drummond both averaged 0.7 blocks per game in relation to the entire 82 plus, I'm assuming, the play-in game season, which is not a whole lot. But to be fair, Andre Drummond played 14 minutes per game this season, where Nikola Vucevic was playing close to over 26, 27 minutes per game this season. So yeah, there's obviously a big discrepancy there, and Andre Drummond is a better rim protector than Nikola Vucevic. There is no question about that. I think Vucevic provides very insignificant paint defense in general, but at the end of the day, when it comes to Andre Drummond, it just wasn't enough in my opinion, and that's why you kind of saw a lot of things happen the way that things happened with Andre Drummond. Let's quickly talk about, obviously, that, again, the role of Andre Drummond. Again, he was coming in to play the backup center role. What worked so well for him in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid is that he was able to get extended minutes because Philadelphia trusted him in these games to play big minutes, which allowed Joel Embiid to get his rest, recuperation, and just put him in a very good situation where he was extremely healthy, and it made Philadelphia a dangerous team having a rebounder like that off of your bench than having an MVP caliber player starting for the 76ers. And I thought it'd be very similar with the Bulls. Nikola Vucevic, arguably a top 10 center in the NBA, definitely within the top 10 offensively, one of the best offensive centers in the NBA, a double-double machine. I just expected the same thing to happen where Nikola Vucevic, because again there is question about whether or not he can really last the whole season. He definitely disproved that in my opinion with playing 82 games, and it was very valuable in that department. But Andre Drummond, I thought, was just going to be a guy that would get 15 to 20 minutes per game and give Nikola Vucevic the long-lasting rest so he can have a long, sustainable season. And I don't think that happened for a variety of reasons. One, our love for small ball. Again, I think that's kind of where everything fell down for Andre Drummond at this point. I've said in the past, and I still think it's true to this day, Andre Drummond moves like a small ball center in my eyes. Yes, he's a massive guy. He's very physical again, 7-footer, fantastic rebounder. He's definitely a big center. But I think in terms of the way that he covers pick and rolls, the way he's able to quickly get out and get a hand on passing lanes and stuff like that, it's kind of how a small ball center moves, at least defensively. Offensively, He does not move like a small ball center. He does not space the floor like a small ball center. And he doesn't really run in transition like a small ball center either, to be fair, even though he's extremely quick. But we just prioritize in some games Derrick Jones Jr. In some games we prioritize that small ball aspect in which we are more switchable, in which I guess Derrick Jones, if he does get switched onto a point guard, he is more likely to guard a point guard than Andre Drummond is. Stuff like that. That's what we prioritize in a lot of these games, and that took away Andre Drummond's minutes, and that was a big problem. 2, he was very inconsistent in his performances. There are some games where he could get a 10 and 10 double-double, other games where he could get 2 points and 5 rebounds in about 14 to 15 minutes, and that is just not good enough for Andre Drummond, considering the backup center, I guess, role that he played. It just wasn't a whole lot that he did in some games compared to other games where it was just truly sensational. That obviously comes down to matchups as well. Again, I always thought he did very well capitalizing on mismatches, and when teams are playing small ball, he does take advantage of that, absolutely. And then, of course, in other games, he just didn't suit the system, so we went in a different direction. Or even if we didn't go in a different direction, you just saw him struggle. And those are the 2 reasons why I think Andre Drummond had a significant downgrade in his stats, in his minutes, and in his role with the Chicago Bulls. Towards the end of the season, he was basically getting really restricted minutes, and he was only coming in for maybe 2 or 3 minutes at a time. Sometimes that's all he really got, which again is just not something you've come to see from Andre Drummond in recent years. I know he's had, again, at one point he was considered an all-star level player with the Detroit Pistons, one of the best rebounders of all time. Of course, he's not that player anymore. He has transformed into a bench player. Someone that could be a good caliber starter if he got the chance, but was, I guess, put as a bench player. Now he's not even really getting, I guess, consistent bench minutes. So I guess with the questions, all those questions being asked, should Andre Drummond accept his player option with the Chicago Bulls? With all the information that I provided, his stats declining, his minutes and declining, his role declining. It doesn't look like it's been a good season for Andre Drummond. Of course, he also had a couple of health issues there as well. Hopefully everything's all sorted in that department. Should Andre Drummond accept his player option? My main answer will be no, and I think that, again, the reasons that I provided are very obvious as to reasons why I would say no. But I wouldn't necessarily rule it out just because you don't know what's out there in the market. Again, I think Andre Drummond can help another team, but it does prioritize what Andre Drummond wants. What does Andre Drummond want? He specifically didn't request a trade from the Chicago Bulls, even with all these things happening, because he likes it in Chicago. That's literally the words that came out of his mouth. I like it here. I'm not going to request a trade. So he decided to stay here, which is obviously a good sign. If he really does like it here and he wants to spend another season here, well then maybe those things don't really matter to him. Maybe he believes in himself that he can work into a better, I guess, rotation and getting more consistent minutes for the Chicago Bulls. But I think he can help a team. And it's also about whether or not he's planning on joining contending teams or whether or not he believes that the Bulls are a contending team. These are all conversations that I think Andre Drummond will have internally with himself. Because personally, I don't see us as a contending team, but maybe Andre Drummond does. And if that's the case, he might want to stay here to have a chance at competing. Money comes into the situation. He was on a cheap deal for the Chicago Bulls. Accepting his player option basically just accepts another cheap contract on a 1-year expiring contract, essentially. Which, again, if he believes he can get paid more than the $2.6 million that he did get paid this season, he might decline his player option and then go and pursue other I guess, opportunities and get paid more. And maybe he could start in some of these teams. Maybe he'll be off the bench. But whatever the case may be, he can get a little bit more money if he decides to go elsewhere. Or he could decline his player option and the Chicago Bulls could be forced, therefore, to pay him more money to remain as a Chicago Bull. So there are so many ways to go down. Obviously, this is coming off a video saying Derrick Jones Jr. will accept his player option, or he's more likely to accept his player option. I just don't feel the same way with Andre Drummond. I personally would like to keep him. I think his rebounding is a very big asset to have. I think he's very physical, and again, I think defensively he's not bad. He's not a rim protector. He doesn't just block the shots. Some centers are not good defenders, but they're good rim protectors. They block shots, but they're not necessarily good defensively. I think Andre Drummond is good defensively. I think he's good in the pick and roll. I think he's very quick. I think he can handle some forwards. but he's not a good rim protector. He doesn't necessarily jump out, leap out, and block shots. So, again, it's one of those situations. I think he should stay here. He's a big upgrade over Tristan Thompson, and I think he's done okay as the backup center for the most part. He's done all right. But he's not playing at the level that he can do, and I think with a better role and more money, there is opportunities out there for him where it's, I guess, outside of the Chicago Bulls realm. And look at the stats, look at the history behind his recent years. He's played for the Cavs, he's played for Philly, he's played for Brooklyn. He's not had a stable team in a long time. And even if he does remain here, there is no, I guess, guarantee that the Bulls will keep him here next season. Let's put it that way as well. So let's see what happens with the Chicago Bulls and Andre Drummond. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.